Okay, welcome back, everybody. My name is Emma. I'm with Sleep Advisor. Sleepadvisor.org is your one-stop website for all of your sleep, health, and wellness needs. You guys, did you know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month? Because it is. And so we have something really, really special for you guys. You see, we realized that over 43 million adults in the United States of America, suffer from some sort of mental health illness every year. So, with all that's going on in the world right now, it's not uncommon for us to find ourselves with increased and heightened anxiety. So, we are bringing in an expert on anxiety, and we're going to talk about how that could be affecting your sleep and answer some of your questions. So, without further ado, let's calm our minds and let Christine Harper join us. There we go. Christine, can you hear me?
I sure can. Hello.
Excellent. Hello. I cannot see you. Are you able to turn on a video? There we go. Hi. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We are so happy to have you. Everyone, Christine Harper, she owns a private practice in North Carolina. She has her master's degree in counseling, and she works with adults, adolescents, children, and couples to help them through life struggles. She deals with everything from anxiety, depression, addiction, to relationship issues. She uses cognitive behavioral therapy along with other treatment options, and she has traveled around the state of North Carolina offering seminars. How did I do? Does that sound?
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just feel so blessed to have you joining us and answering some of our questions and questions of people who have emailed us and who are just really struggling right now with anxiety, and it's really affecting their sleep. So before we begin, I want to start with a clarification. Today we're talking about anxiety specifically, but I feel like that often gets confused with depression. Those terms are sometimes used almost synonymously. So Christine, could you begin by giving us a brief definition of anxiety, how it differentiates from depression, so we can move forward with clarity?
Sure, absolutely. And those terms are used together because a lot of times people with anxiety will also experience depression and vice versa. So that's very common. But yeah, there's definitely significant differences between the two. With anxiety, there's a lot of fear for the future. What will happen? Just this worry about the future. And there's excessive worry and restlessness. And it's also accompanied with the feeling of kind of being keyed up. What do I do with myself? Trouble concentrating, irritability, and sleep disturbances. And whereas depression is more associated with a low mood, a lack of interest in things that they might have enjoyed normally. They no longer enjoy those activities. Change in appetite may be accompanied by suicidal thoughts. But there's also so much overlap between the two, including, like I said, the sleep disturbances can be a symptom of anxiety and depression. Trouble concentrating can be a symptom of both. Fatigue, of course. And
Sure.
As I said, people with depression often have these low moods or flattened affects, as they say. Their body's slow and they're slowed down. But it can also express itself in irritability, like in anxiety. There's a little overview, compare and contrast.
Sure. You said that anxiety, you said it's fear of the future.
Sure. People who are depressed, the way they feel in that moment, they kind of resign themselves to the fact that they feel low and they'll always feel low. Whereas people who are suffering from anxiety, they have so much worry about what's coming, or am I going to lose control, or am I going to have a heart attack, or am I going crazy, or what am I going to do about this problem or that problem? The thoughts race.
Gotcha. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. That was very enlightening, and I think we can move forward confidently, knowing exactly, what it is that we are focusing on here. Um, Before we dive into the meat of what we're talking about, I feel that we should discuss what's currently going on in the world. Um, COVID-19, this pandemic. I don't want to talk specifically about the pandemic, but how it's affecting people and could be having an effect on their anxiety levels.
Well, sure, and there's some very real consequences from this pandemic on the planet today. And
Yeah.
people are, it makes sense that they're concerned about money, the economy, all kinds of things that are going on. Their health, and I mean, health anxiety is a thing even without a pandemic on the planet.
Sure.
But so I've been working with clients to help them be very present, to just check in with them right here and now. How do you feel right now? Do you have food in the cupboards? Do you have something to eat tonight? Do you have clean water? Do you have a support network? Do you have some kind of electronics so you can connect with other people?
Kind of ground yourself a little bit in a time when, well, it feels like everything's shifting.
Sure. And a lot of uncertainty. But the truth is, things are feel more uncertain now. But a year ago, we really had no more certainty about the future than we do now. It's just that it becomes more real and more noticeable.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Well, you just twisted my brain there a little bit, but I hadn't thought about it like that. But you're right. You're right. It's suddenly just more present. So we have many questions that people have emailed us, have commented on Facebook, and we're really excited to dive into those questions and help real people with their real life situations. But before we do that, let's go over some general guidelines and solutions for handling anxiety and helping us get better sleep.
Sure. So I kind of focus on 5 different things.
Okay, so we've got a list.
Yeah, so number 1, pay attention to yourself physically. Check in with your body. That might mean go to the doctor and be medically cleared. It might be just checking in with, am I getting some kind of physical exercise as much as I'm able? Am I doing that at appropriate times, not right before bedtime? Am I avoiding caffeine? It's different for different people, but I would suggest at least 6 hours before bed, cut out the caffeine, prepare your body to prepare for sleep. And then there's all kinds of physical things that you can focus on. Square breathing, we can talk about that more. Meditation, there are so many different ways to meditate. It might just mean slowing your thoughts and writing down those sentences that are chasing themselves around in your head.
Right.
And feeling your muscles relax as you do that. Some people, warm bath, herbal tea, yoga, on and on and on. A routine before bed. So and that takes me to the next thing, which is the bedtime routine, and that's number 2. So number 1 is check in with your body, make sure you're medically fine. Number 2, that wind down routine, try to keep that the same every night.
Consistency, yes.
Consistent bedtime. Yes. A message to your mind and your body that we're both on the same page. It's time to relax. And guess what? Our focus isn't on I need to get sleep. It's how would I like to relax? And that's an easier goal that is less anxiety inducing than I thought I get to sleep. Look at the time I thought I get to sleep.
Sure. There's much less pressure there to just relax.
Yes. Wow. And then number 3, sometimes I call this meet and greet and then write. Meet and greet means you look at the anxiety and say, hello, come on in. I know who you are. I've seen you before. It's going to be okay. And instead of just like, I can't be anxious. Let the anxiety come in. It's thoughts in your mind, and we can deal with it. And there are many resources and solution focused therapies to deal with those thoughts. And it's common, so common, like you said. Millions and millions throughout the world deal with this. It's the most common mental health problem is anxiety, and it hits hard at night sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so with number 3, the meet and greet the anxiety, then I say private. Pull out a journal or a get that pen and paper.
Okay.
Write down your to-do list for the next day. So that's number 3. The meet and greet, and then
that feels pretty simple. You know, there's a lot to that, but that feels manageable and doable. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe if you don't have the ability to write, if you have some disability, you can voice your concerns or have a support network in some other way.
Sure.
But there's definitely a way to get those thoughts out of your mind in the bedside table drawer for the night and say goodbye. And it's okay. We can deal with that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Number 4 for dealing with sleep and anxiety. There are 3 main ways that I can think of having sleep disturbances relating to anxiety or vice versa. So number 1 is maybe it's just difficult to fall asleep. I'll give yourself no more than 20 minutes in the bed. And if you're just feeling like sleep is not coming, maybe it's time to get out of bed. Let the bedroom be a calm, peaceful place and get up and do something else. If you fall asleep and wake up quickly after, then make another plan for that. What will I do? For me, I put my AirPods back on and listen to some very quiet music or an audio book, something that's just fairly in mind, sort of.
I like this because I feel like then you're associating your bed. You associate it with positive, relaxing, and sleeping rather than with an anxiety attack or a panic attack or restlessness.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we don't actually have to catastrophize not falling asleep. There are solutions. We can figure it out. There are people that can help. It'll be okay. And then the other situation could be waking up too early. And, again, audiobook, soft music, meditation, whatever works for you. It just might be get up and get something done rather than lie there and feel really frustrated.
That can seem very counterintuitive. Like, well, I need to sleep. I want to sleep. So why would I get up? So we'll have to dive into that more for sure. Possibly with some real life examples.
So and then number 5.
Yes, number 5.
Counseling. And that might be individual counseling, it might be group counseling, it might be with a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and it might be with a psychologist. Sometimes people bring in a psychiatrist. Get a team around you as support network. And that could be a friend, a neighbor, a roommate, a spouse.
Positive influences and support network. Like you said.
Partners,
I love that. Well, I think we're ready to dive into some questions that people have asked us. We've got a number of people tuning in with us right now. Hello, Jake and Michelle. We've got Cindy back again. Thank you, Cindy. Hi, Mark and Hannah. Hello, Hunter and Wayland. Stuart, we are so happy to have all you with us. Hi there, Gracie. So let's jump in. We've had so many questions come our way, questions that have to do with anxiety and how it's affecting people in their sleep. If you have any questions and you're tuning in right now, feel free to comment, let us know, and we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can. Let's begin with this one question that I've been receiving a lot of from many different people, but kind of worded in different ways. So Mercedes R. Thank you, Mercedes, for sending us your question. She says, my mind races at night and I can't fall asleep. Then I'm so tired and worn out the next day. Vicious cycle. Wish I could break it and stop being a late night owl. Suzanne asks a question along these same lines. She says, how can I slow racing thoughts when I'm trying to relax into sleep?
Sure. Those are real situations, real problems. And a lot of times people will do, Dr. Burns is a famous counselor, psychologist, and has written books, and he often talks about keeping a daily mood log. And I love that. It goes along with journaling, with your nightstand book, or whatever you're writing in, and getting thoughts down on paper. But he says if you make friends with the anxiety. if you start noticing what you're really worried about, start writing it down.
Right.
If you start keeping a daily mood log of your thoughts and what feelings follow, then sometimes you can really see if there's evidences for those concerns. And if the concerns are real, then you start looking for solutions. But a lot of times it will take our anxiety down from a level of 10 out of 10 down to about a 3 out of 10 as you realize, okay, I'm blowing this out of proportion. Our minds do that. Our automatic thoughts pop into our head and we believe them. A lot of times those automatic thoughts that are telling us, this is a disaster. There's no solution for this. This is too hard. I can't handle this.
Oh, I have been there. I have been there where it just gets so worked up in your mind. Yes.
So sometimes writing helps to untangle things. See what's worked in the past. As you look back on the sleep journal, as you write down your concerns, and you can put the truth to the lies in your thoughts, you can talk back to your thoughts and go, okay, that's actually not a disaster, and I dealt with that before. So really paying attention to what's going on, what's real and what's imagined, what is the anxiety of control, and what part do we want to keep, because some of it is useful. It keeps us safe. But what part do we kind of like to, let go of and dial it down?
You just said anxiety is useful. That is very contrary to I feel like everything I've ever known about anxiety. I feel like when I'm feeling anxious about something, I want to fight that.
Sure. So, in ancient days, the fight or flight response kept people alive. There's a tiger, you run from the tiger, you stay alive.
Sure.
And some people that becomes overactive, that feeling that you need to, that fear of something terrible is about to happen.
Right.
But it's also very solvable. And I have a little diagram here, and this is if you've heard of a positive feedback loop. Positive feedback loop, that term itself is kind of counterintuitive because it doesn't feel very positive, because what is happening is there's a triggering thought or event, and then there's this feeling that there's an incredible danger or threat, and then this anxiety starts to kick in harder and harder, and then people tend to avoid things to cope. So because of avoiding what the concern is, there's no corrective experience to correct the last one. And then you go back to these scary thoughts, and it goes round and round and round. So that's kind of what's going on in your mind as you feel like things are getting harder and harder and harder, and I might die, and that's not funny at all.
No.
People can feel like they don't know why, but there's a feeling of doom. And it's very difficult and very solvable.
Wow. Well, it's no wonder people don't sleep when they're having anxiety attacks. How could you?
Sure. So at night, when you're starting to have anxiety that you're only going to get 4 hours of sleep, you've got a presentation at work the next day or whatever, then it makes it harder and harder to go to sleep.
Right. So for those who are stressing about going to sleep, you said, okay, I've got a presentation in the morning. I need to get my rest. At this point, I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep, and then you're going in circles about that. How do you suggest breaking that anxiety loop?
Sure. So I would change body positions. I might get up. I might go get that paper and pen. If it's a simple matter of writing down a to-do list, I forgot, I've got to pick up dry cleaning, I've got to do this and that. I look forward to picking up dry cleaning again, by the way. But anyway, if it's a simple to-do list, you can usually do that on your own. If there are stuck points or emotional issues in your life or relationships that go deeper and they seem impossible and very tangled up in your mind, that's when you bring in a counselor and you find the right fit and you work out where you're stuck. And that's where you might need a person or a team or the right medication sometimes to figure out those things. Yeah. So there's a whole range of levels of issues that people might encounter at night.
Absolutely. Wow. This is, I feel like my thinking about that my thoughts that surround anxiety are being kind of rerouted right now. This is very eye-opening for me. We have a lot of people watching right now. A bunch of people are joining us. We have Courtney is watching. So is Maria. Hello, you guys. Thank you for joining. Let's move on to our next question. This question is from Lisa P. And this is something that actually I'm hearing a lot of people are dealing with right now, and that is specific to this time with the pandemic, is bad dreams, and a lot of people are having very vivid dreams, which they are saying didn't happen before the whole pandemic and stay-home orders. So Lisa P asks, how do I sleep when my severe anxiety causes bad dreams? And I keep getting up to use the bathroom several times before I get up, meaning before she gets up for the day.
Right. So what I'm hearing is a lot of things happening to me. And that's a terrible lack of control feeling. So by taking charge of things a little bit and making a plan during the day, and going through the things that I touched on, checking in with your body, making sure you're fine physically, and having that routine every day, and doing some problem solving during the day. And specifically, let's say it's nightmares, that's the problem.
Yes.
Prepare to talk back to your nightmares. That's really a possibility. Maybe do some square breathing, which might mean, so breathing into the count of 4, holding it to the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 4, and waiting to the count of 4.
You call that square breathing?
That's one way of calling it.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
So it's basically what it's doing is it's slowing things down. It actually slows, it taps into the parasympathetic nervous system, slows down heart rate, slows down blood pressure just a little bit, slows down your thoughts, and then you can make some conscious decisions. And the decision might be, I might just face it. Let's face what could go wrong. I might have a really terrible dream tonight. Okay, I have the tools to handle that. I'm actually strong. And when I'm having my dream, I'm going to make a change. Prepare your mind to take it on, to fight back a little bit, or just put a stop sign. Just think, I'm going to just raise a stop sign and say, stop, done with this dream, and just face it head on. Sometimes just accepting, okay, I might have a terrible dream, instead of, I don't want to have another bad dream. I don't want to go to sleep. I might have a bad dream. Say, okay, bad dreams, come on, bring it on, and we're gonna work with you.
Sure. So instead of building that fear surrounding that bad dream, kind of accept it. Yeah. Welcome it in a little bit.
A little more power in that type of thing.
You know, I can't. How do I even say this? You know, when you're dreaming, most people don't even know they're dreaming until they've woken up and they go, oh my gosh, that was a dream. I even had a dream last night where I got in a huge fight with someone, and I woke up this morning thinking that she and I were on bad terms. And then I realized, oh, that's a dream. Nothing's actually wrong. And it was so relieving.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that can happen. I do believe that the brain is more powerful than we think it is, and preparing our brain for a nighttime experience that might, turn into a bad dream is powerful. Another thing we can do is find what is the silver lining in that bad dream, or what can I be grateful for? And instead of catastrophizing it, looking at it and saying, okay, does this relate to anything in my life, in my daily life? Do I need to make a shift in the daytime?
Sure.
I mean, sometimes I'll have chaotic dreams when I'm not organized in my home or in my work.
Right. So the things that we're doing during the day and our thoughts and behaviors can really have that big of effect on our dreams.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes a dream is a red flag. Sometimes it's just chaos. But I do know that there are so many ways to take charge and to remember that. And that's half the battle. It's just saying, it won't kill me. Bad dreams aren't fun, but I can handle it. Just remembering how kind of a strength-based approach can help.
Strength-based approach. Oh, I love that. I love that use of words. Let's move on to our next question. I mean, these have been excellent questions so far. Thank you to everyone who sent in their questions. Remember, you can comment and ask any questions you may be having that have to do with anxiety and how it's affecting your sleep right now. Our next question comes from Nikita C. She says, I can't get myself to calm down enough to fall asleep. I have had anxiety and sleep issues all my life. I also have seizures due to anxiety. What can I do to help me calm down enough to sleep, or at least sleep for more than a few hours?
Oh, well, Nikita, that's a really difficult thing to deal with, and I'm sorry for that. I have had clients that have been hospitalized with seizures, and testing proved that they were medically well, but that doesn't make the seizures that just happened, thought about them easier. They're difficult at the time. So I would say definitely get that support team, work with a counselor, and long term, trust that can get better, because I've seen many clients heal from those types of things. Some people are actually physically throwing up and seizing, and some people have thought that there was really something wrong, a disease or something. It's scary, but it's often a manifestation of what's going on in your mind, and then your body reacts. The thoughts come first, the feeling comes second, and the behaviors follow that. So if you can work with the thoughts in your mind, you can almost always untangle those and create different feelings and relax into these fears.
Wow, that the brain is so powerful. Goodness. So you said that you've had clients who have very physical responses to anxiety. Is that common?
I don't know the statistics exactly,
sure,
but I've seen it in youth, and I've seen it in adults.
Okay.
So it's common enough. I've seen it often.
It's not uncommon then.
Not uncommon.
Definitely. Well, thank you. Thank you for that question, Nikita. We appreciate you reaching out. Our next question comes from Kate K. Kate says, are there any tips about going to sleep? I'm on my media until 11 p.m., asleep at midnight.
Yeah, very good question. Definitely screen time, it's nice to let that go. Well, good, and you probably know a lot about this, but a good hour and a half before bedtime, it's nice to check out, leave those phones alone. It's the blue light that emits that stimulates our brain and keeps us awake. Even a 30-minute break from that. So you've got your 30-minute nighttime routine,
sure,
which does not include any kind of screens, anything emitting that light that will stay awake, stay stimulated. So yeah, that's a problem for a lot of us.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, and you are right. I know a lot about the importance of a bedtime routine, and your body does fall into that routine and into that natural rhythm of things, and you will find yourself starting to get tired because your body knows, okay, the phone is away. I am doing my yoga. I am brushing my teeth. I am washing my face. All the things that leads you into bedtime. And I had not related the bedtime routine myself to anxiety. But as we're talking about how powerful the brain is, it can also tell your anxiety, no, this is my relaxing time. This is my time to fall asleep and not work out all of the issues that can be dealt with tomorrow morning.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's nice to focus on something other than the anxiety. If somebody says don't think about elephants, you're thinking about elephants. So it's the same with anxiety. don't be anxious. Don't be anxious. Guess what? We're going to be really anxious.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think about anxiety if you want to, but also at the same time, let's focus on all the things that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for that question. Our next question is from Raina. And Raina wants to know about helping children sleep who have anxiety. Do you have any? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Very good question. In my practice, I work with youth who are 9 years old and up. So, Emma, I know that you have two small children. You're in the throes of dealing with kids who sometimes have sleep issues, and I have 5 children of my own, and we tried all kinds of. And each person is so different. It's a tailored prescription for each child, I think, sometimes. But I think once you're 9 years old or older, all the things that work for adults that are, but tweaking them to be age appropriate, work for kids too. Make sure a 9, 10-year-old and up have time with mom or dad or a caregiver to just talk about what's on their mind, to help them to establish a good sleep health, good rhythm to their life, a nice routine that will be disturbed sometimes, and let them know that that's okay. Things are not going to be according to the book all the time. But let's plan a routine to get together and definitely collaborate with your child, depending on the age, and let them feel heard. Let them voice their biggest concern, reflect that back, and a lot of times letting them really be understood. And a lot of times with the kids, they're not telling the whole story. So it might take a little more doing to get to the bottom of it. Some time, some patience. And
do you mean they are hiding things, or maybe they don't fully know how to express themselves?
I think that both can happen.
Okay.
But like I said, with the older kids, 9 and up, it's been more of an issue of hiding. They feel kind of embarrassed about something. They don't want to admit something. Things are going wrong at school, or things are going wrong socially. So check in with them biologically, psychologically, socially. What's going on in their friend world? Do they feel like they have friends? What's going on with them psychologically? Are they really, really worried about something? Are they kind of worried about something? How can we solve this? Put it back on their plate. What do you think we should do about this? You have a lot of ideas, and help them to remember how strong they are by saying, I'd love to hear your ideas about this. You've solved so many things in the past. And then saying, I know somebody who solved this problem this way or that way.
Right.
And then you could offer some assistance after they've been heard.
Wow. Absolutely. What an incredible way to approach children and adolescents. Like at least for me, yes, you're right. I have 2 little kids, but they're very young. They're toddlers. And it intimidates me thinking about working with them and talking with them when they're older, when they're in school, when they're in middle school, and how do I talk to them and communicate to them these rather complex things, emotions and anxieties. It's nice to hear from you that they just kind of want the same thing we all want, which makes sense. But they just want to talk and be heard and work things out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that they can feel heard with just a little bit of empathy and reflection. And maybe that problem or situation won't get solved right then. But sometimes some listening.
Sure.
Good listening.
Good listening. Yes. I have a question. We have talked a lot about solutions to problems that we may be facing, and whether that's waking up in the middle of the night or you can't fall asleep in the first place. Let's say we try out these things, writing down our thoughts and moods in a journal, and putting into practice the kind of rewriting the narrative of anxiety in our minds. And we have lots of success, but then you have that night where you wake up, it's 3 a.m. It feels like you've recessed. How do you handle that?
Right, and so that's why I often talk with my clients about, let's make a plan during the day. We're fresh, we've got energy, our thoughts are clear. So let's make a plan during the day. Then at night, you wake up, you can say, oh, I know what this is. So it doesn't seem like such a disaster. It doesn't have to be black and white.
You plan to fail.
Plan to fail. And don't we all need to fail to succeed? I mean, that's part of doing anything that we all do is just keep trying and learn.
Right. Absolutely. Wow. Try to fail. I don't think I've ever heard that before, but I love it. It really takes the pressure off of being perfect.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable to put yourself on a pedestal or feel like others are putting yourself on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. And sometimes just being able to say it out loud, I'm really worried that I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Okay. Okay, you get to be worried about that. You get to think about it. You get to talk about it.
Put it out in the open.
Put it out in the open.
Yeah.
Disclose that. Just like anything else that's a concern.
Yeah.
Share it and plan for it. Do the best you can. And try and fail. And if there's a language in the world, I need to find out what it is, but there's a language that does not have the word failure in it, or fail. There's another word, it just means basically we're trying until you reach you self-actualize.
I love that. We have time for one more question. This question comes from Katie H. Katie says, sometimes I can fall asleep faster on my couch than my bed when I'm feeling anxious. Do you know why this is? Is it something I should try to reverse?
Well, that is a really good question. Perhaps there's been a time when you're in your room where it doesn't feel, you've had some bad experiences where you've woken up and felt really frustrated or had a panic attack there, or who knows exactly, but maybe the couch is, you associate that with watching a movie and eating snacks and being with friends and family, and that feels homey and good and safe. I think that's a very individualized situation with an individual answer. I think people have back problems and sometimes they need to sleep in a recliner. I think it's got to be tailored to fit you. I would make a pros cons list and kind of see what is the cost of sleeping on the couch. How does this affect me in good ways and negative ways? And decide and look at it and say, you know what, right now this works for me. And maybe that list will flip and you'll have a lot of reasons why you'd like to get back into bed and bedroom. But I think forcing yourself like, oh, I can't sleep here, it's wrong. I'm not sure you can just actually flat out say that.
Right. I mean, you're getting good sleep. Is it really wrong?
Yeah, if it's working for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. Christine, before we wrap up, at the beginning, you mentioned your 5 resources, your tips and tricks to dealing with anxiety, specific to sleep. Could you reiterate those for us before we sign off?
Absolutely. So number 1, check in with your body. And this can include being medically cleared and being able to practice relaxing during the day when you're not trying to go to sleep. So you're better at relaxing when you go to bed. So there's meditation or yoga or herbal tea or the things that help you just to be calm. Number 2, you might consider working on that wind down routine at night and keep that consistent. You do it every night and kind of just know what works to give the message up here and to your body. It's time to relax. So number 3 is I call it the meet and greet and write. So if the anxiety starts to come in, sometimes you make friends with it and say, come on in, and we're going to do a little bit of writing and get things down on paper, make a to-do list for the next day. Think about what kind of support we need emotionally and work on that, work on the therapy or those kind of solutions. Maybe it's just friends, slowing your thoughts through square breathing, those types of things. Number 4, have a plan. Or if sleep goes wrong, which is not necessarily wrong, it's just something you want to tweak a little. So have a plan ahead of time. So when it happens, you say, I know what this is, and I know just what I plan to do, and go with that. And
prepare to fail, like you said.
Prepare to fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to fail? Okay, prepare for that. We all do that. And then you succeed, and you might fail again, and you might succeed. You will succeed. And number 5, and I've already touched on this, I think number 3, but seek counseling. Get a support group around you. Have a family system or a friend system or a counselor, individual group, and sometimes a psychiatrist, sometimes medication, etc. will provide you with a treatment team for better sleep.
Better sleep. Christine Harper, thank you so much for being here with us today. Let's all give her a virtual round of applause, drop some hearts, show Christine your love. Thank you so much for being here. This has been an absolute joy. Now, to everyone tuned in right now, stay tuned to our page. We have live weekly videos coming your way to help you with your sleep, to get better sleep for a better world with Sleep Advisor. And don't forget, right now we have a fun contest running in our Better Sleep with Sleep Advisor group. Entries end tonight, so get those in. And we just have really enjoyed having everyone tuned in, all of your questions. Thank you for joining us. Christine, thank you. And you all have a great night's rest when the time comes.